2008, Merseyside police have admitted they were warned months ago that dog breeding was taking place at that house where a 4-year-old was mauled to death, but they did nothing to investigate the claims.
Yeah, John Paul Massey was killed in the early hours of yesterday morning. His grandmother still being treated in hospital. It thought she was injured trying to pull the animal away.
Well, the dog has since been destroyed. We can talk now to Dr. Roger Mugford. He's an animal psychologist and has been an expert witness in previous dangerous dog cases. Morning, Roger. Nice to see you again. Do we know what the dog was?
We don't. It's not been officially confirmed, but neighbours say that it seems to be an American bulldog, which is a big dog. I mean, a dog almost the size of a calf. So, and size is always a factor in these. You know, if you have a little dachshund, it may be very aggressive and bite, but it can't do anything like the damage of a dog that's this big.
Every time something like this happens, unfortunately, they are still rare. Certainly fatal cases
indeed.
are.
It's always newsworthy because it is such a rarity.
People say, well, we haven't got the Dangerous Dogs Act right, because it's only pit bulls that are specifically banned, isn't it? Or no, there are four breeds,
but essentially pit bulls are the only ones in significant numbers in this country.
And then how do you tell what's a pit bull?
And court time, police time is trapped into this circle of no, it's a Staffordshire Bull Terrier, it's a something or other, and not a pit bull. And really we should be focusing, as in this case, on dogs that behave dangerously because of owners who are at-risk owners. And owners really know when their dog is unreliable around visitors, children, other dogs, because of course many people get bitten because they get involved in trying to separate dogs from fights.
Roger, a lot of people writing in to say exactly the same point, which is that there aren't such thing as dangerous dogs, there are only such thing as dangerous owners. Is that absolutely the case,
there are
that you don't get breeds that are more dangerous than others?
You know, people say, why do people want to own these big fighting dogs or bull breed dogs? But it isn't the dog's fault. The dogs in themselves, and I examined many hundreds of these allegedly and actually pit bull terriers, and the great majority of them were really sweet dogs. But of course, in the wrong hands and trained or encouraged to do the wrong behaviour, they become dangerous. But likewise, a Chihuahua can become dangerous, and it's nothing to do with the breed itself. It's all about the owners and their management and their skill. And of course, as parents, their management of their children, because victims predispose attacks. Victims often invite attacks. I'm not saying in this case, of course, little John Paul isn't here to state his case, sadly. But the other thing that arises from this incident and many others before that have been reported is the dog was shot. A dog that was involved in any serious bite, injury or attack upon a human should be retained as forensic evidence, should be investigated by somebody like me or by a competent scientist, not necessarily by a police officer who may be involved subsequently in a prosecution, because these dogs are evidence, but too quick.
Well, what evidence is a dog going to give you after it's killed?
A lot. You can look at its predisposition. You can look at the eliciting factors or the things that make it angry, if you like, and is it trained indeed to attack? Again, no suggestion of that in this case. Is it a dog that would defend food or defend toys?
So you get more of a clue of what
give you more about, and then we get to be wiser about. Well, no, we don't want legislation that's just based upon the way dogs look, but we want legislation based on the way they behave, and we can predict or anticipate dangerous behaviour on the basis of this, that and the other test.
But how do you do that, Roger? Because you can't go around interviewing prospective dog owners to find out whether they're suitable to own a dog.
Well, the present legislation under the Dangerous Dogs Act actually has quite serious penalties for dogs that are dangerous or that behave dangerously, and that's good, and that's really as it should be. I'm in court just this morning involving a dog that was dangerously out of control and did injure somebody.
But so that's retrospective action, isn't it? The thing is, how do you get there before something happens?
Yes, I mean, there's been a suggestion that we should reintroduce dog licensing, and I'm in favour of that if it is a means of knowing who owns which dogs. So a dog identification scheme would be extremely valuable in this country, as it works in Northern Ireland, as it works in other countries, and of course used to be here. But now with microchipping, that would be helpful. But we can't screen every dog in the country and say this one's dangerous, this one's safe. But at least when dogs are involved in any serious incident, it should be retained as evidence, tested, and then possibly euthanized, but in a calm way.
All right, Roger, thanks
very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let us know your thoughts on that. Do send your emails, text messages, phone calls to the usual addresses. We'll bring them up in a bit. The time now, 7:45. This is Breakfast from BBC News. Let's bring you up to date with our main news this morning. Britain is